a local level and sustainability. I also work as a self-employed trainer and advisor on these topics. Next to the content, my passion is to connect people and ideas to each other in our transition towards a more sustainable society. And then it's not a coincidence that this is exactly what we will do in this session. Okay, what can you expect? This coming hour, we have 2 panel sessions consisting of students and experts with very different backgrounds. Each panel will have what their projects and work is and what their thoughts and vision is on the topics of climate adaptation and mitigation. The panel members will introduce themselves at the start of the discussion. After 20 minutes, the discussion is open to the other panel members and also open to you sitting at home or maybe at work, somewhere else, for asking questions. So I invite you all to post your questions in chat and reactions, that can also be. And after the panel discussion, the panel will answer them as much as possible. After the open discussion, we will switch to the second panel with the same setup. The panel members will introduce themselves and so on. So let's start. I would like to welcome 2 students and then 2 experts. First, I welcome, let me see, Elisa Wijngaard. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, my name is Elisa and I am a student at the HANZE. I'm also the secretary of the Stichting Studentactiviteiten. It's translated to Foundation Student Activities. And this year I'm responsible for the sustainability and we're trying to develop a green label. So, yeah.
Thank you. Sounds good. Luvidio, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, my name is Luvidio. I'm an IBS student at HANZE University, of course, and I follow the minor Sustainable Energy Professional. I have a website called luvioni.com, which has reached about 146 countries around the world. And I'm also developing 2 other sustainable companies. So, yeah. And I invest in sustainable companies as well.
Thank you, Luvidio. Okay, Musetta, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Musetta Blauw. I used to be a student at IBS, but it's pretty long ago. I now have 2 companies, social entrepreneurs, in Groningen, and I work with, I make the connection between climate adaptation or mitigation with production of clean energy, and I use that the profits of that energy to have income support for low-income families that normally cannot participate in these projects, and that way I'm connecting not only sustainable or a better future for the planet, but also for people.
Thank you very much, Musetta. And André, last but not least.
Hello, my name is André Heres. I'm a professor at the HANZE University, member of the Expertise Center on Bio-Based Economy, background chemistry, and my lectureship is related to bio-based and circular chemistry.
Thank you very much. I think you forgot to mention one thing, because I know that you were elected as being one of the Groene Groningers, the green Groningen people last year. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got a prize because currently I'm really active in the greenification of the chemical industry. So as probably most of you know, most of our products are currently originating from petrochemical sources, from oil. And that, of course, is increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, having a negative influence on our climate. So currently one of my topics is to replace these petrochemical compounds by products obtained from renewables, and renewables are products from the agriculture, wood, kinds of products which you can harvest every year or every season. So, and that of course is carbon dioxide neutral, and thereby less negative for the climate. So I got a prize for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think that's already a great first example of how climate mitigation can take place, preventing CO2 emissions to get into the air. Well, let's start with the first question. I would like to invite the students to answer this first. What is climate adaptation or mitigation for you as a person? And can you maybe start, Elisa?
Yeah, I think that's a difficult question for me. But the environment is changing, and I believe that it's important to change with the environment. Like my English is not very good, but I'm going to try. Turning your heat down to slow down struggling a little bit. Let me look it up. The heating of the earth. That's actually what I'm looking for. Just changing with the earth. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Luvidia. What is Luvidio? What is it for you? Sorry.
It's okay. For me, I'm personally a believer in doing stuff that's just good for the earth because it just feels good. I'm personally a minimalist myself, so I try to buy as less as possible. And I said as well before, I invest in sustainable companies. So I actually vote with my money which company deserves to live and which company deserves to die, as you can say. And I'm also on the side of vegetarian. So it all comes together, like my whole lifestyle surrounds to climate adaptation and being sustainable and eco-friendly. And my website, as I mentioned as well, also tries to inform people about like people all over the world how to be a better person, in my opinion at least, and how to like be gentle and kind to nature, and how you can do different stuff to like I have different categories on how to be better towards the climate. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Musetta, would you like to react?
Well, climate adaptation for me is almost accepting that the climate is changing, and I kind of do not want to accept that the climate is changing. So this is a pretty soul-searching topic. Is climate adaptation what we should do now that the climate is changing? So we have to have more place for water. We have to prepare for worse weather, for hard winters or hot summers, or can we still change this around? And for me, I have not come to a point that I think climate adaptation is the only thing we can do. I think that we really have. I still keep hope that we can change the way we live instead of accepting that climate has changed and we need to adapt to that. So I'm one step before climate adaptation. I'm still in the mitigation and trying to not come to a climate adaptation. But I do know that we do have to, maybe only for a short time. But for now, we see the weather is changing, so we need more water supply. We need more making sure that people don't heat up too much, etc. But I still hope that it's temporarily.
Thank you. That's a very optimistic view, I would say. Thanks. André, what is it for you?
Yeah, I really think that we should try to stop the climate changes. I already mentioned that we can partly do that by using or preparing materials from natural sources instead of petrochemical sources. But the other thing is that we also should think in a more circular way, and that means that we should reduce the amount of materials we use. We also should try to reuse them as often as possible. And on the last thing I would like to mention is try to recycle materials. So that is also something which the chemical industry is currently working hard on. And via that way, we keep the carbon, as they call it, the materials, as long as possible in the chain, and thereby we can, let's say, decrease or halt the increasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So that are two things which I'm currently very enthusiastic about it, and I really think together we can solve this problem. So we really should try to stop the climate change by reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. What then triggers me is that many times I hear people say, okay, I'm just one person. As an individual, isn't that too small to make a difference? Many people already know that they should do something, but then they maybe look at a government or companies. So, yeah, is that true? What do you think? Is an individual too small to make a difference? I saw a hand from Musetta. Go ahead, and then Luvidio. Musetta.
I think nobody is too small. Last summer, I was one of the persons that organized 4,000 pear trees to be handed out in the city center of Groningen. We had the entire freeway was blocked because people wanted to have one of those trees that you could buy for 20 euros at the garden store. But everybody came to pick up a free tree, a pear tree they never even thought they might want. And now there are 4,000 more trees, and they all, they hold carbon. They will grow. They give pears, and everybody is doing something. And it's not because they really wanted to do something really green, but they are doing something really green, and they had fun, and it was something they did together with their friends. And so we started this with only 4 people that said, hey, let's hand out those 4,000 trees, and now there are 4,000 trees because everybody came to collect one. So we were with 4,000 people, and that's the way how all these things go. One person starts it, Greta started it, and now everybody is protesting. So you never know what happens when you start something, and you probably always inspire at least one more. And I think that's what you have. That's what your goal is, and it's a start. And without the start, there's nothing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Great, nice example also.
Yeah.
Luvidio, you would like to react as well?
Yes, I mean, I agree with Musetta completely. Like, you just have to do something, start somewhere. Doesn't matter how small you are, or if you think you won't reach anyone. Like, if you impact only one person, then you've already made a difference. Like, especially for students, I get partying and alcohol and different stuff. It's like fun, and you think that's like the thing to do while you're a student. But I feel like you can do more as a student, as a person, like a young person. Like, for example, for me with my website, I started in 2018. The only people that read it was my family and friends, and there was like no views. And then 2019, I got a little bit excited, a few hundred. And then in 2020, like when people start searching more online, and then it like exploded. So like it's you start somewhere, even though you don't see results, because you're not going to see results in the beginning. You're going to feel like, okay, I'm not doing anything that will help. But if you really like it, and if you really want to help people, doesn't even have to be websites. It can just be like if you see someone on the street throwing trash on the ground, or if you just see trash on the ground, you can just pick it up. That's already a huge difference. Or at the beach or something, like anything will already help. And some people will see you do it. And just by people seeing you do eco-friendly activities, you would already inspire them. So, yeah.
Thank you. Great example. So start as one, and then try to influence your family, friends, neighbors, get to 4,000, and then go to 146 countries. Well, I think that's a snowball effect. Elisa, you would like to react as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. You said inspire, and one of the core values of the SSA is inspiring. And one of the goals this year is to realize a green label, and there's a work group for that. And a green label is something you can get if a student organization has certain types of let me find the word. Sorry, you have to
Maybe
do
activities.
activities or recycle. I'm starting to find the word, but the idea came from one person from physiotherapy, and now we have a work group with 9 different people of 8 different studies, and the goal is to have 37 different HANZE UAS student organizations to have that green label, and that student organizations can also inspire their members, and so all the students of the HANZE. So, like the snowball effect is also working.
Yeah. Nice example. Yeah. Great. Thank you. André, you would like to react? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I really like the story of Musetta. Furthermore, I think every individual can make a difference. That is clear to, I think, to all of us. I think we really should try to reduce the amount of rubbish we throw away every day. Collect batteries, and I think it's really a